My wife let her ex-boyfriend Aaron sleep in our bed while I was traveling, then shared it with him in a camisole after refusing the hotel room I offered to buy. Her name is Tara, I'm Jordan, and I came home early enough to see Aaron leave our front door wearing my gray t-shirt. I kept my suitcase on the sidewalk, got back into the waiting car and stopped coming home as her husband. Aaron was not an old friend, whose history surprised me later. He and Tara dated for 4 years before we met. They had lived together briefly, talked about marriage and separated when he accepted a job in another state without asking her to come. Tara described him as the person who taught her that chemistry and reliability were not the same thing. For most of our 10-year marriage, Aaron stayed in the past. Then Tara's high school class organized a reunion. Aaron had moved back to the region after his own engagement ended. He attended alone. I went with Tara and watched them recognize each other across the hotel ballroom. Their first conversation lasted 20 minutes. Tara introduced me halfway through. Aaron shook my hand and told me I had done what he had not been mature enough to do. "Keep her," he said, smiling. "She is the best thing I ever lost." Tara told him not to be dramatic, but she smiled too. On the drive home, I said the comment had crossed a line. "He was apologizing," she said. "He was telling your husband he still measures his life by losing you. And I left with you." That became Tara's answer whenever Aaron appeared after the reunion. She had left with me. She came home to me. She wore my ring. Every visible symbol of our marriage was supposed to make whatever happened beside it harmless. Aaron sent her a message the next morning thanking her for speaking to him. Tara showed me. I did not demand that she block him, but I asked her not to build a private friendship around their old relationship. "I don't want him in our marriage," I said. "He isn't," she answered. For 6 weeks, they exchanged occasional messages in a group chat with other classmates. Then he contacted her directly about a teacher who had died. After that came photographs of old yearbooks, questions about mutual friends, and jokes only the two of them understood. Tara did not hide the messages. She left her phone on the counter and sometimes read them aloud. When I said frequency could create intimacy, even without secrecy, she accused me of wanting dishonesty because honesty had not made me comfortable. "I am showing you there is nothing to fear," she said. "You are showing me the door while you keep opening it." 2 months before my trip, Aaron sent a message at midnight. "If you ever get tired of being responsible, I still remember the version of you who was." Tara showed it to me the next morning. She said Aaron had been drinking and probably meant she used to be spontaneous. "Tell him not to message you like that again," I said. She typed while I watched. "Do not talk about my marriage or invite me into an alternate life. We can be friendly in the group. That is all." Aaron replied with a thumbs up. I believe the boundary had finally become clear. 3 weeks later, the reunion committee met at a brewery near our house. Tara asked whether I minded if Aaron and 2 classmates stopped by afterward to look. Through a box of photographs she had found in her mother's attic, I said a group visit was fine. The other 2 classmates left before Aaron. He stayed at our dining table with Tara, holding photographs up to the light and telling stories about people I did not know. I sat with them. Nothing physical happened, but every story seemed to end with the same conclusion. Tara had once been fearless, and Aaron had been the person standing beside her when she proved it. At one point, he held up a picture of Tara asleep in the passenger seat of an old car. "You used to be able to sleep anywhere," he said. "Not anymore," she answered. "Jordan says I require 6 pillows and controlled temperature. Marriage made you soft." Tara laughed. I did not. When Aaron finally left, I asked why he needed to sit in our house and compare the woman I married with the woman he remembered. "He was looking at photographs," Tara said. He was checking whether you miss being his version of yourself. She accused me of hearing competition in nostalgia. I said nostalgia became a proposal when one person kept suggesting the current life was smaller. I am not inviting him into anything, she said. Then do not invite him here alone when I travel. Tara stared at me. That is oddly specific. Because he now knows where we live, and you keep treating each next step as harmless after it happens. She promised she would never have Aaron in our home alone. She said the idea that he might sleep there was so absurd, she resented having to say it aloud. That promise made Wednesday night more than a disagreement about a stranded guest. The situation she called unpredictable was the exact situation we had. Named, she did not discover her boundary under pressure. She replaced it when keeping it became inconvenient. My trip was a 4-day equipment installation in another city. I left Monday morning and expected to return Thursday afternoon. Tara helped me pack, handed me the gray t-shirt I used for sleeping, and laughed when I said it had developed a hole near the collar. Leave it, she said. I'll replace it before your next trip. I dropped it into the laundry basket. On Wednesday night, Tara called at 10:46. I was in a hotel room reviewing the next morning's schedule. She sounded defensive before she said hello. Aaron is downtown, she said. His car got towed. He had driven in for a concert with 2 friends. Afterward, they split up. Aaron returned to find his car gone because he had parked in a restricted lot. The towing office would not open until 7. His friends lived in the opposite direction, and the last commuter train had already left. Why are you involved? I asked. He called because we live 15 minutes away. Call him a car to a hotel. He asked if he could use our couch. No. Tara went silent. That was fast. It is your ex at night in our house while I am away. The answer does not require research. She said he had no luggage, needed only 6 hours, and would leave before work. He had already paid for towing. Making him spend more on a room would be cruel when we had an empty sofa. I opened a hotel app. A place 7 minutes from our house had rooms. I entered my payment information and sent Tara the listing. I will pay, I said. Send him there. That makes this even more insulting. To whom? To me. You would rather spend money than trust me in my own home. I would rather spend money than have the man who wrote about your alternate life sleep under our roof. She said Aaron had apologized for the message. He was not asking to share her bed. He needed a couch and a shower before retrieving his car. Is he there now? He is in a ride coming here. She had offered our home before calling me. I asked her to cancel the ride and send him the hotel address. She refused. She said she would not humiliate herself by withdrawing basic hospitality because her husband had become territorial from another city. Tara, listen carefully, I said. If you bring Aaron into our home overnight after this conversation, I will not come back to that house as if nothing changed. Are you threatening to leave me over a couch? I'm telling you the boundary before you choose. Nothing is going to happen. You keep using that sentence to describe everything except the choice happening now. She ended the call. At 11:21, my phone received a doorbell alert. I was not watching the camera. The app notified both of us whenever someone approached after 10. I opened the live view. Aaron stood on our porch wearing jeans and a black jacket. Tara opened the door. He lifted both hands in a gesture that looked like apology. She stepped aside and let him in. I closed the app. My installation finished earlier than expected the next morning. The client signed the completion report at 5:30. Instead of waiting for my afternoon flight, I found a seat on the first departure home. I did not tell Tara because she had not answered the message I sent at 6 asking whether Aaron had left. The plane landed before 8. A hired car carried me from the airport. My suitcase stood upright in the trunk. I still did not know whether I would enter the house, ask for details, or leave. I knew only that Tara had made the choice I warned her about. The car turned onto our street at 8:43. Our front door opened before we reached the driveway. Aaron stepped outside carrying a small duffel bag I recognized as Tara's gym bag. He wore dark jeans and my gray t-shirt with a hole near the collar. Tara followed in a pale robe, holding a travel mug. She touched his arm and handed him the mug. He leaned close and said something. She laughed once. Then Tara saw the car. Her hand dropped from his arm. I asked the driver to stop at the curb, but keep the trunk closed. I got out. Aaron looked down at the shirt and then at me. "Jordan," he said, "this isn't what it looks like. It looks like you slept in my house and left wearing my clothes." He started to explain that coffee had spilled on his shirt. Tara interrupted. "Come inside," she said. "We can talk without the whole street watching." "Did he sleep on the couch?" Tara pulled the robe tighter. "Come inside. Yes or no?" Aaron looked toward the waiting car. "I used the bed," he said. "She used the couch." Tara closed her eyes. "That is not exactly what happened," she said. "I stayed beside the curb." Aaron said he should leave. He handed Tara the mug and walked toward the intersection. I did not follow him or threaten him. He was not the person who had promised me a home. "What happened?" I asked Tara. She said Aaron tried the couch, but an old back injury made it painful. She offered him our bed and planned to sleep downstairs. They kept talking in the bedroom while he lay down. At 2 in the morning, she was tired and got onto her side of the bed. "What were you wearing?" "My camisole and sleep shorts." "And him?" "Boxers. The t-shirt was on the chair. He put it on this morning." "Did you touch?" "Our legs touched once. We moved apart. Nothing sexual happened." She said there had been a blanket between them for part of the night. Then she realized how that sounded and stopped. "You shared our bed with him," I said. "We fell asleep, that is all. After I offered a hotel, after I told you what bringing him inside would do. You don't get to abandon a marriage because I helped someone." "I am not abandoning the choice. I am accepting it." I turned toward the car. Tara came down the path barefoot. "Your luggage is in the trunk." "It is staying there." "Where are you going?" "My sister's." "At least come inside and shower." I looked at the open door, Aaron's mug in her hand and the shirt moving away at the end of the street. "I don't live in that version of our home," I said. I got back into the car. My suitcase never crossed the threshold. Tara called continuously during the ride. My sister Lena opened her door without asking for an explanation in the hallway. I told her the short version after we carried my suitcase into the guest room. For the first 2 days, Tara focused on proving there had been no sex. She offered her phone, the doorbell recordings, and every message with Aaron. She said the camera would show that he arrived at 11:21 and left at 8:43. She said 9 hours in a house did not prove intimacy. "I believe your description," I told her. "You do not need to prove more." "Then come home." "Your description is why I'm not coming home." She could not understand that answer. In her mind, sex was the only fact large enough to justify my absence. The overnight invitation, rejected hotel, shared bed, sleep clothes, and my shirt were smaller details that became innocent when added together without intercourse. I met her at a cafe 5 days later. Tara wore her wedding ring and brought mine in a small envelope. I had left it on Lena's dresser by accident, and Lena had returned it to her. Tara placed the envelope between us. "I need you to stop making decisions from the worst morning of our marriage," she said. The decision happened the night before. She admitted inviting Aaron before calling was wrong. She admitted refusing the hotel had become a fight about independence. She admitted getting into the bed was indefensible. "But I stopped it from becoming cheating," she said. "You are still using sex as the starting line." "Because it matters whether I touched him." "It matters. It is not the only thing that matters." Tara said she had wanted to prove that Aaron no longer had power over her. Letting him stay, talking about the past and waking beside him were supposed to feel ordinary. Instead, she spent the entire night aware that I would hate the scene. I asked what they talked about in the bedroom. Tara resisted, then said Aaron apologized again for leaving her years earlier. He asked whether she ever imagined the life they would have built if he had stayed. Tara told him she loved me and did not regret our marriage. "Did you answer the question?" I asked. She rubbed the edge of the envelope holding my ring. I said sometimes I wondered who I would have become. Aaron told her he wondered too. He said the woman in the old photographs would have climbed into the car with him and figured out the destination later. Tara said she missed that woman, but not enough to leave me. Then Aaron lay on my side of our bed and told her she had not changed as much as she thought. Tara sat beside him to prove the conversation had no power over her. When the room grew cold, they pulled back the covers. She changed into the camisole in our bathroom, returned and got into bed. "Did he ask you to?" "No." "Did you tell him to leave?" "No." "Did you mention the hotel I offered?" "He knew you wanted him somewhere else. So he knew you chose him over my boundary." Tara said it was not a competition. I told her Aaron had spent the night describing the bolder woman he remembered, and she had answered by climbing under our covers with him. Calling it a test of independence did not make me less central to what they were doing. My boundary was the thing that made the act feel rebellious. That was the new information I had not possessed at the curb. They had not simply fallen asleep after solving a transportation problem. They had used our bed to revisit the life they did not choose, then relied on the absence of sex to call the experiment harmless. "Why didn't you get off the bed?" I asked. "Because then it would feel like you were controlling me from another city." The answer matched the choice exactly. She had used Aaron's body in our bed to argue with a husband who was not in the room. We tried 3 counseling sessions while I stayed with Lena. The counselor asked Tara what she expected when I arrived. "I thought he would come inside," she said. "I knew he would be furious. I thought we would fight. I would show him the messages, and eventually he would understand nothing happened." "Did you believe his warning?" Tara looked at me. I believed he meant it in the moment. I did not believe he would actually stop coming home. She had treated my boundary as a motion that would expire before my flight landed. The counselor asked what home meant to each of us. Tara said it was the place where married people returned even after they hurt each other. I said it was the place where both people protected private access even when the other person could not see them. Neither definition was temporary. I collected clothes and work equipment one afternoon while Tara was with her mother. Lena came with me. I did not inspect the bedroom or search for evidence. I took what I needed and left the key on the kitchen counter. The separation became permanent 3 months later. Aaron did not become Tara's partner. She blocked him after the morning on the porch. That did not repair us. The betrayal was not valuable because another man won her. It was valuable because she used our home, our bed, and my absence to prove my place could not be lost. Tara wrote once that she still woke expecting to hear my suitcase wheels cross the entry tile. She said the sound had always meant I was home. I remembered standing beside the curb with the handle in my hand. The distance from the sidewalk to our door was less than 20 feet. I had crossed it hundreds of times carrying groceries, gifts, bad news, and ordinary exhaustion. That morning, Tara stood in the doorway wearing our marriage like a guarantee. Aaron stood beside her wearing my shirt. She believed I would enter because husbands came home. My wife let her ex sleep over while I traveled, then shared our bed after I offered him somewhere else. I stopped coming home because the house was still ours on paper, but she had already shown me that being absent meant my place inside it could be handed to another man.